Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 22.
22.
Double deuces? Does that work?
What? Did you just say double deuces? All right, man. Well, I mean, you can be a little gangster at times, but that's
like
a little too much.
Like 2 and a 2.
All right, double deuces. There we go.
All right, let's keep moving on. You know, eventually we're going to get this right where the intro just sounds normal.
Like we actually practice it.
Yeah, like we actually have. But I guess people are okay with this interesting, awkward moments.
Hey, people like hearing, you talking about double deuces. So
okay.
There you go.
All right. Hopefully there was no gang affiliation at all involved.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Sorry.
If so, we apologize.
We believe in being law-abiding citizens who resell.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. All right. So now we're on episode 22. It's November. We're about to hit Q4. Well, we are in Q4. We're about to hit the real Q4.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And neither can I. It seems like it's taking forever.
Yeah, but I've noticed that a lot of the toys and things that have just been sitting for a while are starting to slowly sell. So
you're
I'm
selling
noticing
some of
it.
them.
Yeah, not any of the big
toys.
Things. Yeah, not any of the big things that I've gone out and sourced a whole bunch of, but the little things here and there that I've gotten throughout the summer that I just have been sitting there all of a sudden selling. So
that's true. I do have some random puzzles I remember picking up at Burlington, some other stores that I just picked up for $6 and I sold them for $35.
I just sold a puzzle 10 minutes ago, right before we started.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Strange. I love puzzles though. I got to tell you, they are nice ROI. So
especially if you get them at a thrift store, it's great as long as they're unopened, right? Don't ever buy an opened.
Did you ever consider in your early days a 1,000-piece puzzle?
Well, no, I definitely haven't.
There's a hesitation.
That.
It tells me you might have.
Okay, so you remember it was several episodes ago I talked about I bought Stratego, right? And I felt it was a puzzle because I was going through literally every single piece and then I was missing some. So I'm like, wait a minute. So I recounted multiple times and I'm trying to figure out which pieces am I missing for each. Is it worth listing? Do I buy these pieces? So I probably spent 45 minutes on this game that I just threw away.
You didn't even post it?
It wasn't, I was missing pieces and it just wasn't worth it.
I thought you were going to go online and buy the missing pieces.
I was thinking about it and then I realized I would rather just spend my time listing other things.
Yeah, but that's a good point though, right? I mean, time is very important.
Yeah.
And you learned, right? And that's going to be part of our next episode when we talk about growing as a reseller.
And that's not to say I don't buy games that I have to go through and double check, especially if I know there's a good ROI. I'll still pick up the game.
That does remind me, years ago, I came across Mall Madness. And it was this game, well, it's self-explanatory. But it was 80s, 90s. I'm sure many of you listeners that are out there listening heard of this game. And I remember going, I can make $89. And then I remember going home and opening it, and it was missing pieces.
Ugh.
And then I go, I could part this out and make money. And so I parted it out. But then even the parting out was just
it takes time.
It did take time. Now, there are some games where you do make money parting pieces out. And I've done that before.
I sold an incomplete game, and it was very clear that it was missing pieces, and the person bought that. And then it's kind of cool. So those of you who follow us on Instagram, I think Orlando, was it CSI? It was some trivia game that you posted.
Oh, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. So, and then one of our listeners, or maybe just somebody on Instagram.
It was on Instagram, I remember.
Yeah, mentioned that they're like, hey, if you find a Friends trivia game or the Friends board game, pick it up. It's worth money, right? Literally that weekend, the day before, I found one for 50 cents.
Nice. How much do those go for?
It's $30. So it's not huge, but 50 cents to $30 is.
No, I get it.
Good.
Today, it's kind of random. I sold, remember that Office Clue game I sold a few weeks ago for $160? And then today, while I was garage sailing, I came across another Office game and it was opened. And I'm not a fan of open games, but I scanned it and it was going for $70-something on Amazon. And then I'm on eBay and the used ones are going 40 to 50. And I guess the Office, I feel like we're doing BOLOs right now.
That's all right. It's a good way to start the episode.
We're going to do the show, backwards today. We're going to start with BOLOs, go to hustles, and then go all the way to updates.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let's run our normal order. This is just intro chat.
We're dropping BOLOs.
This is pre-show.
Do you like the word BOLO? I get people all the time that say
BOLOs.
Okay. Do you like BOLOs? Do you like the word BOLOs?
I think it's fine. I mean, it's easier.
You don't think it's cheesy?
What is there an alternative we can use?
No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if somebody gives us an alternative that's less cheesy, then sure, we'll do it. But
I
in the
get people all
meantime,
the time
BOLO
to
works.
ask us, right? We should maybe put a little reselling dictionary together.
Oh,
And sell it for like
dictionary
60 bucks a piece.
Yeah, like just
our e-commerce
ridiculous
book.
amount.
I'm just joking. We won't do that.
Yeah, if we make it, we'll give it to you guys for free because we love you guys because you're awesome.
All right, so before we get ourselves into trouble, all right, let's catch up a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about your videos. You said you're going to make some videos.
Yeah.
Without me, by the way, but
well, I mean,
we'll go with it.
You know, it's tough. Well, that's part of the thing too. Is it's hard. I make decent videos.
No,
I
he
feel
does.
like
He does.
I try not to be like I'm not trying to like be arrogant, but I feel like I do a pretty good job. I mean,
no, but most of our production work, like the Mug Life video, this recording this podcast, it's Mike. I just sit here and talk.
You know, you got the knowledge. I bring the technology. But I mean, I do this on the side, right? Like I record wedding videos, I record events, I do a lot of things like that. But when I record those, I'm never the star of it, right? Like I'm just operating the camera. It's the only thing I need to think about. So today I decided going out garage sailing. I feel like that's still weird to say.
Remember, there's no I after the A. It's just sailing.
Sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I like the idea of it like you're on a boat, like sailing.
Yeah, but
like because then it could be like pirates. Like you're out trying to get treasure, garage sailing.
Grab that loot.
Yeah, grab the loot while you're sailing. Garage sailing.
Okay, anyway, so let's move.
So I decide that I'm going to go garage sailing and record it, right? Like just record myself as I'm going out, everything I'm doing. So I actually put a little hole inside of my fanny pack that everybody makes fun of me for wearing, and I put a GoPro in there. And then I got another camera, and I've got a microphone, so I've got the mic underneath my shirt attached so people can't see it.
You're trying to be incognito, but I don't even know how that can be incognito.
It looked terrible.
You have a mic coming out of your shirt.
No, it was.
You have a camera on your fanny pack.
I think it was all like nobody could tell.
Unless you're dealing with people who've lost their glasses, I think it'd be pretty obvious.
I feel like I was pretty good. I feel like I was maybe I was really obvious, but I think I was incognito. But it was tough, man, because it's like I got to open up the fanny pack and start the recording before every garage sale. Make sure that my mic is recording. Make sure that the batteries are good, the memory cards are good, that I remember to turn it off, that I don't. And so like it was a lot of work to try and do, and it slowed me down quite a bit. And I don't think I made an incredible video. I think we'll see how it turns out. I don't know if anybody will actually want to watch it because I didn't end up getting a ton of great purchases, so it's not going to be like a clickbaity video like how I made $5,000 in one day. Garage.
Hey, that's not clickbait. There's days that happen.
No, there are, but that's what I mean is like it's not going to be one of those videos where people are going to want to watch because it gets maybe it'll be too real. You know, like sometimes when you go out and you're hitting those garage sales.
No, you're gonna enjoy the video. Everybody's gonna love it
because they'll know that.
Well, you're already like sabotaging like the video. It hasn't even been made.
Yeah, well, I want to be real, right? Like.
Yeah, once I put the video, part of being real where you let the audience decide whether it's real.
Maybe, but at the same time, I feel like I want them to know right off the bat, like if you want to watch something where somebody's walking around, does a little bit of bargaining, maybe gets $100 to $200 worth of profit in the day, not great. Video cuts out a couple of times because my memory card got full and I had to switch it. If you want to watch that, please watch the video. It's a learning process. I'm learning how to do this, so.
It'll be good. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it. I don't even know what Mike was totally top secret about it. He just dropped me a text, said, hey, no, actually, he didn't even drop me a text. I saw it on IG story, like with everybody else. That's how Mike rolls sometimes. All right. Well,
what about you? You were gonna get your Amazon inventory out, right? It was kind of
okay. So my OA, all my online arbitrage is gone. I did ship all that out. And it was one of those where it was just getting obnoxious. So, I do have a storage unit to work with. And then I have things in my home. And I hate having stuff at home. I just hate it because you just get overwhelmed and you just let it sit there. And then more stuff piles on. And then you get these unfulfilled items that come in from Amazon that were damaged. You get returned. It just becomes overwhelming. And then you're just like, what am I doing? Like, this is terrible. And so I decided to send them all out. Now, I did mess up on the order. I'm going to have to confess here in front of all thousands of people. So I don't know, for whatever reason, this happened with 2 or 3 boxes. One of the boxes was fine, and somebody on Instagram had DM me and said, "Hey, this box, does Amazon allow those boxes?" Well, for the stuff some of the stuff I had, it did, because if you have an Amazon box that you're sending to the warehouse and it's over 24 inches, that's fine if the items are over 24 inches, right? I mean, how can Amazon put a restriction on that when the items are bigger, right? But you can't use a massive box to put in a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I did do that for like 3 or 4 boxes.
Oh.
And the worst part about it is, I completely forgot, like, I'm just being real here. So, those of you that follow us on Instagram, you saw the IG story, like, I'm like bragging about how big these boxes are, and I'm like impressed. And yeah, and so I had to, luckily, everybody at the UPS store knows me. And again, I will tell people, like, develop great relationships with the UPS store and the post office. It'll definitely work in your favor, because, they're always willing to help me out. And so I dropped everything off, and, I didn't think about it. I'm like, oh, all done, time to roll on. And then I see this DM message. It was actually, it wasn't just one, there was a few people. And I go, okay. Yeah, I don't know if all those boxes are okay. So then I called the UPS stores, and this is like probably like 10 minutes before pickup. And I don't know what Amazon would have done. So I called them. I had to go pick up all the boxes. I had to bring the boxes all the way back home. I had to open all the boxes. I had to tape up other sets of boxes and transport everything to the boxes, seal them again, take the other boxes to the dumpster, and then go back to the UPS store the next morning.
That sounds terrible.
I lost probably 4 hours of my life.
That's not good.
And I contemplated sharing this because it's really embarrassing. It really is. But one of the things is, right, we're all about learning.
Yeah. Don't make that mistake.
Right? I will not make that mistake ever again.
Learn from Orlando and don't do that.
Well, because, okay, so last Christmas, I was selling these kind of construction sets that were massive. I probably sold, I want to say, about 50 of them. So I was doing boxes like that all day. I never thought about, like, hey, I can't put 40 units of a smaller item. So it just slipped my. It's one of those things where you're moving too fast. And I advise all of you, like, especially with Amazon, like, don't move too fast. I've probably in the last 2 months, I've had like 2 or 3 shipments where I missed an item, or I thought I packed an item, or I put a different quantity on one of them. And, nothing's happened yet, but I always say with Amazon, you never know when they'll drop the hammer. So you got to be careful. So yeah, that was my update.
Nice. Well,
as far as the other stuff, remember I was supposed to get GameCube controllers wrapped up and all that? I didn't do that yet. Just because it's a lot of time. And right now, just straight retail arbitrage is a lot faster than bubble wrapping used items for me. And today I had a decent haul, which I'll talk about later, but it would have required more bubble wrapping. So that's my update.
Nice. Well, hey, you live and learn. 4 hours gone, time wasted, probably some money wasted, but
tape, lost a lot of tape.
Lesson learned. And we know you use a lot of tape. We saw that in the Mug Life video.
What's the deal? Why is everybody calling me out on that?
Because that's a lot of tape. It was a lot of tape.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. Now, I just wanted to make sure it was safe. Like, I didn't want to put a little bit of tape and then somebody packs it and it ends up getting destroyed. Like, I want it to be legit.
Because I packed a mug that I sold, which we'll talk about when we get to Hustle of the Week.
Okay.
And I probably used a quarter of the amount of tape that you used, and I feel very confident about it.
You could have edited that video. We didn't have to show all that tape.
Well, you were talking the whole time because it was like piece of tape, piece of tape, piece of tape. As you're talking, piece of tape, piece of tape, piece of tape.
Hey, you know what? It's still an informative video. I'm happy with it.
It was great. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you got to go watch it. It's really good. I feel bad for your wallet, man. That's a lot of tape.
Well, I do have ways of getting free tape. Did you see my eBay hack?
Free tape?
Yeah, did you see that?
I didn't see it.
So, this is like old news, but remember eBay had
upgrade the store? Yep.
I have so much eBay tape. I have hundreds of dollars of eBay tape for free. Oh, I didn't tell you this other story. I'm full of stories.
Is this your random story?
No, it's not my random story.
No.
It's another story.
Just a random story, but not the random story.
So, and I got to give credit where credit's due. So, a couple months ago, I'm trying to pull up the story here. A couple months ago on IG, somebody had been talking about getting free tape from the post office, and I'm like, "How do you do that?" And actually, it goes by IG handle Matt Klein Hustle. He sells a ton of Nikes. He's an awesome guy. If you haven't had a chance to check his IG page, check it out. Follow him. He's great. And he did this Insta story, and he was talking about how to get free priority tape from the post office. Now, I don't want to say maybe a year ago, you were able to go online and get some of that. And so he put this out, and he had talked about how he went to the post office, and they gave him like 2 free rolls of priority mail tape. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then he backtracked a little bit. He's like, well, it's not free. It's just, I know certain people and blah, blah, blah. So in typical Orlando fashion, I'm like, I wonder if I can do this. And so I went down to the post office, and I said, hey, do you guys have any priority mail tape you're willing to give away? And sure enough, they're like, oh, yeah, here's 2 rolls.
Never hurts to ask.
No, it never hurt to ask. And so I have all the eBay tape. I have 2 rolls of priority mail tape. So, yeah, did I lose a ton of tape on that Amazon fiasco? Yes. But I still have a lot of tape to go.
There we go.
I'm okay with that. All right. Tell me a little bit about your random stories from the week.
Oh, random story. Okay, so today, like I mentioned, I was out hitting up them garage sales.
Yeah, we're recording on a Saturday night, by the way.
Yeah, Saturday night, which is unusual for us.
It is unusual, but we got to get these episodes out.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm recording today, and so I'm like super awkward, right? Like you already mentioned, I probably was a little awkward with the microphone. Got my fanny pack, and I'm wearing like a Hawaiian type shirt over top of an undershirt so that the mic would hide a little bit. So this Hawaiian shirt's like flaring out with this fanny pack. Like I look goofy.
Like you're on like a vacation?
It was bizarre. Yeah.
In the Keys
I look
or something?
goofy for sure.
Okay.
And anyway, so I'm at this, it was like a sale that was at a storage unit where like a bunch of storage units were open and people were selling stuff outside of it. And I hear this guy who goes, hey, Mike. And, that's my name. So I look over that direction and I'm like, oh, there's probably another Mike here. And then my name again, right? So I look and there's somebody walking towards me and he like kind of gives me like a head nod. And I'm like, oh, I look behind me. I'm like, there's got to be somebody else here. Like, I don't know this person. Like but he's coming my direction. So like, I smile and nod back and he's like, Mike from Pure Hustle Podcast, right?
So
random. I was like, that's so cool. I was like, yeah, and his name was Mike too. And he's like, yeah, I'm, what is it? Vintage.games.plus on Instagram. And he sells like a ton of game stuff. If you're not following him on Instagram, you should. His stuff is awesome.
He was one of our hustles of the week a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And so it was awesome getting a chance to meet him, right? So we chatted for a couple minutes. He didn't do well at that one either. So he was bailing, trying to get to the next one as fast as possible. So we were both leaving, but I felt weird. Then as he left, I looked at myself and I'm like, man, like the goofiest I could possibly look.
That is classic.
Yeah. So, but I got to meet.
Did you feel like you had to explain yourself?
I did. I told him, I said, I'm actually recording right now to try and like, this is why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. But
awesome.
But it was really cool getting to meet somebody who he's obviously been reselling a lot longer than I have. He's got a ton of experience. So it's a cool community to be a part of.
It is. And hey, if you see us out in the wild, like feel free to say what's up. We've had a few people already approach us. I've ran into people in the Nike store, at garage sales. It's awesome. I mean, and what I like about it is, we get to learn from each other too, right? Like, hey, why are you here? What are you up to? If you wanna let us know,
Yeah.
It's up to you. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. So nice.
Yeah. It was nice. Cool. It was nice meeting you, Mike.
For Mike.
Mike from Mike. Mike to Mike. You're the man.
All right.
Follow him. vintage.games.plus on Instagram.
That is so cool. All right. Well, mine isn't as cool. It's just weird. So I like estate sales and I don't like estate sales. So I like estate sales because sometimes I find I can go into an estate sale and I pick up stuff that no one else is looking at, which is such a great feeling. Then there's other times I go to estate sales and I'm like, I have no idea what's in this house.
Yeah.
Right? No idea. So today I went to this estate sale and I was kind of pumped about it, but like I knew it wasn't going to be the greatest in the sense of like I was going to find what I wanted because when they list everything out and you don't recognize pretty much anything on there, you're like, I'll check it out. Maybe there's stuff they didn't put, right? Because I'm big into video games. I'm big into certain kinds of vintage clothing. I'm big into Harleys, all that stuff, Hawaiian shirts, all that stuff. So I show up. And right at the door, they caught me like recording myself, talking about going to the estate sale. And like, oh, who are you guys? And I'm like, Pure Hustle Podcast, blah, blah, blah. So maybe you guys are listening. Hey, welcome. And I walk in, and this house was like old school. Like, we're not just talking about like old furniture. We're talking about like wallpaper, like rooms. Like one had like it's kind of like I want to say like a cheetah kind of print wallpaper with a cheetah print couch, leopard print couch. And then another room had roses everywhere. And what really threw me off was like I kept looking for stuff. And I'm like, where's all the good stuff? Like I'm kind of lost. And so they kept pushing like, hey, tomorrow we're gonna have an auction. And I'm like, oh, what are you guys auctioning off? And they said, hey, we're gonna auction the whole room downstairs. I'm like, hey, can I check it out? And they're like, no, it's sight unseen. I was like, what?
Well,
Like,
the whole room, huh?
the whole room.
Ooh.
Okay, and then they're like, and we also have this other storage shed, like a 10 by 30 or something. Does that sound right? The dimensions?
Yeah.
Okay. It's supposed
It'd
to
be
be
a very
huge.
long shed.
And it's also sight unseen.
And
And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, this is weird because the reason
they open it up and it's empty. Haha, gotcha.
well, yeah, it could be that. But what threw me off was like, I wrote. There's two things here. Either one, I definitely my knowledge base was way off. Right. I posted on IG like you have to learn more because I really felt like I didn't recognize anything that was in there.
That's part of the problem too. Is like there's especially when you're getting into like vintage stuff because there's so many different brands that you might only see a handful of times ever, right? So to know what's what and what's good. I mean, even if you guys watch Trash Talk, right? Was it episode 3 when Gary V is in someone's house and he's in the basement and he's like, I gotta learn Christmas. I gotta learn Christmas. I don't know anything about Christmas. And I want to tell him like, hey, you should listen to some of our stuff, right? Because we've got the Department 56.
Actually, I did DM him and say, hey, look out for Department 56 and I told him about a couple other brands, but you know.
But you can feel like that, right? When you're in a place, you're like, I need to learn everything, right? Like, even though you know so much more than I do, and I feel like another sale.
I had to. It's a Harley vest.
Nice.
For $115. Paid $20 for it.
Good job, man.
I like those kind of sales. Anyways, all right. Is that braggadocious?
A little bit.
Okay, sorry.
I sold a $15 puzzle. You sold a $120 vest. You know, we're good.
No, but okay, but let's go back to that. So, you know, I felt the same way. But it was just weird because I literally felt like I was looking at junk everywhere I went. And there's a part of me that goes, is it possible that the people running the state sale just ran through everything already? They took everything that they wanted out of there. Right? Because I'm like, this is junk. And I did research. Like I was on my phone, I'm looking, I'm like, junk, 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 junk. It was weird. And then I'm going, do I really like I did sign up and I was gonna show it's supposed to be like you go early in the morning and they let you no, they don't let you you show up early in the morning and then I think they let you preview the room, but I don't think they let you preview the shed. It's kind of like Storage War style. And I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I think the room was really, I think, sight unseen too. I can't remember, but I just remember going, would I be willing to do that? And I know some of you do storage units out there, so I got a lot of respect. Like that was the first time I actually had to think about it. Right? So okay, so there is a preview, and the preview is 20 minutes.
Is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
What time?
I'll let you know after.
No, I'm saying we should both go.
You want to go tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, what time?
We could swing it. Okay.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna steal your sale, man.
No, but
I'm not gonna bid it up on you.
No, this is gonna go for thousands. It's not gonna be like several hundred.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna buy. I mean, are you thinking about buying it?
Nah, just because it just doesn't feel right. And that's one of the things you got to learn. Like when things don't feel right, and maybe I'm walking away from something, but it's kind of like people aren't going to set up something knowing that they're going to lose money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the other day, I was watching a YouTube video, and they had, the auctioneers from Storage Wars?
Yep.
I think it's Don, and I forget their names, but
the funny story.
The lady?
Yeah. So my neighbor, when I lived up a few hours north of here, took pictures of animals, like that. She's an animal photographer, like pet photographer.
Okay.
And every time I saw her, she would tell me about how she does famous animals, and it was, I think, a dog or a cat or something from the Storage Wars auction people. Like that was her claim to fame was that she took pictures of the dogs from
the auctioneers.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow. Okay, no, it's Dan and Laura Dotson, and the reason I say this is because they actually stole the storage unit that had like millions of dollars of cash in it.
Oh.
Right. So now that's storage unit. That's a little different. Estate sale, like you go through the stuff. You know what I mean? That's why I'm kind of just hesitant about going. Maybe I'm wrong.
So, I've heard a few people talking about using those companies. So these companies, they come in, they make a portion of the sales, right? That happen at a lot of estate sales.
It varies. It varies. So I actually have a friend of mine that does estate sales, and they'll buy out the estate. Like they'll buy out everything. And so they'll keep some things and they'll go to eBay or they'll go to Amazon. And actually, I was helping them learn how to do Amazon because he was like, "Hey, Orlando, I'm trying to figure out what to do with this new stuff." And so, sorry,
Another sale.
It's a busy night. We're not going to look at that one. So he was approaching me about it, and I asked him about his process. And that's what they do. They'll either buy it out, and they get to keep it. And I don't know about the percentage ones. There might be some people that do percentages. If you do estate sales, let us know. But I think that's the way this company does it.
I'm thinking we need to expand. Like, let's open up like a thrift store or start an estate something. You know what I mean? Like, so we have an outlet for the things.
I would love to do like Pete the Craigslist Hunter. I would love to have his setup where he has a brick and mortar store and people come in and buys and sells and
almost like a pawn. It's not like a pawn shop.
No, it's not at all.
It's like maybe like in between like a thrift and a pawn shop. Something.
Correct. Yeah. That's
or like what is it? Not like an antique store, but like consignment, like a consignment type.
It's kind of like that. Or maybe it is that, but that I would love to do that. I don't know how vibrant that would be in San Diego because the ones I know of aren't around anymore.
That's true.
There's only one I know of that's still around in San Diego. The others, I feel terrible because I knew some of those people and their stores are no more.
Yeah, I mean, so. I think it's.
And we have some listeners too that have actually did have stores and they're no more either.
It's so expensive here, right? Like land and property. It's so
the overhead. The overhead. That's why I look at you and going, yeah, let's stick to eBay and Amazon and Poshmark and whatever else you're using. So, okay. I think I killed that story. We went all over the place on that story. But the thing is, I just don't feel right about it. Maybe I'm off on that. You think I'm a little paranoid here?
No, I mean, I would never encourage you to spend money on something you're not 100% sold on. But at the same time,
maybe we go tomorrow and we check it out, and then if we want to, we do it, and then if we don't, we just leave.
Depends on time, though, man. We're recording late tonight. I might want to sleep in. I got a lot of listing to do tomorrow.
That's true.
But if you're considering buying it, I'll come and record it.
I'm not.
No,
I'm not because
I'm not gonna waste my time.
This is why I got a lot of respect for people that do estate sales and storage units. Is they have networked to find a place to sell all their stuff. That's a big thing. See, I don't have that huge network. You give me an antique, couch or an antique bed. I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Throw it up on OfferUp, but there's probably places you drop it off for 50% off consignment, 50% consignment, and you'll make money on it. So, all right, let's talk about some current topics.
Yeah, teach me. I don't know what's going on.
It's not like teaching you. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm noticing that there's a lot of restrictions happening on Amazon again, like right before Q4. And I'm
like you're getting gated and stuff you weren't previously gated.
I'm getting gated, and I'm getting a lot of DMs from a lot of people saying, "Hey, I just recognized I got gated here, and I was ungated all last year."
Weird,
right? Or I just, like what happened to me. I had a bunch of sandals that I had purchased at Marshall's that were going for good money. I sold probably five of them for $50 a piece. And in total, I paid like $200 for, I don't know, 10 plus pairs. So I still made money on it. But what ended up happening was that out of nowhere, Amazon was just like, restricted. And then I went to do I'm like, hey, maybe I just need to get auto approved. So I go to get auto approved. And then it's like, we need a letter from the manufacturer or an invoice from the distributor. And then I kept remember you had that conference call early in the year. What did they tell you in that conference call about whether things will get restricted once they're at the warehouse?
Yeah, from what she told me was that once it's there, they'll sell it.
Yeah, see, and that's my thing. Like all my stuff was there, and there's some other items,
and they're making you like get it back. Like
like there's no option. Like I had to create the removal order and have it get sent back to me.
Ugh.
Which
Yeah.
just hurts. And luckily eBay's there and I'll still make my money back. But it's one of those. This is why I always say, like, I'm a big believer that like eBay and Poshmark and all those are still going to cater to sellers like you and I.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, Amazon obviously is taking over the world, right? Like there's no way
Well,
around it.
I truly believe like either they're gonna start like let's say the economy goes south, right? They're either gonna buy out businesses or some kind of social media thing's gonna buy out businesses. Something that's still sustainable is gonna buy everybody else out.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're taking over. I don't see anything competing with them at the level that they are. I almost just wonder though, because in some ways right now they're a logistics company, right? Like they do obviously sell some stuff they market themselves, but a lot of it, when it's third parties sending stuff in. But as they get bigger and control the market more and more, if they control the customer base,
Mhm.
then eventually they get to a place where, do they need people to send stuff in? Do they need to sell it for other people, or are they just better off, you know, doing bulk order purchases and selling it themselves? Like, are people going to just be cut off completely from Amazon? I
Well,
don't
but
know.
that's why I keep saying like I'm gonna keep doing eBay
Mm,
because with eBay, like it's really hard for anybody to compete. Like Amazon would have a hard time competing in vintage clothing.
yeah.
Maybe unless they hire people to go out to thrift stores and go to garage sales or whatever, which would be kind of crazy. But I think that market will still thrive,
Mm,
right? The other market, doing I love RA. It brings in a ton of income. It's awesome for Q4, but I don't know how long it's going to be around. That's why I'm working like crazy this Q4, acting like it's the last Q4 that I'll be able to do something like this again.
yeah. Because I mean, I'm at a place right now where that's not even an option. Like doing the retail arbitrage and getting, um, I mean, I'm able to buy some things, but basically everything is being sold on eBay because I can't. I'm gated in almost everything on Amazon, so I can't really sell through that route. So what I'm trying to figure out is there a big enough market on eBay that if Amazon never opens up for me, or if it ends up falling through for everybody, will I be able to make enough money solely off of eBay, whether it's garage sales, thrift stores, or retail arbitrage, um, or or is there not, right? And it
Mhm.
seems like there's quite a few people who do only eBay and do just fine, right?
No,
So,
there are, and there were people that were doing that during the recession
mm,
'08 that were just fine. So I think it's totally doable. It's funny you say that because I ran into one of our friends who does real estate, and so the wife she sells real estate, and he does construction. And I kept telling him like, and not that I want the economy to collapse, but I want it to happen after Q4 because then hopefully I have enough capital and I can buy things and stuff like that. And I said, I'm sorry to say that to you, and he goes, no, no, no. There's ways to make money even in construction and real estate when the economy is down. So that was encouraging to me because I also had a lot of friends that lost their businesses during that time. So Amazon, I think it's one of those like you got to ride that train while it's there
mm,
and always know that in the back of your mind, like that train might eventually stop. And that's kind of where I'm at this Q4.
mm,
Hey, I'm seeing it more because now I'm also, getting all these DMs about people are getting infringement claims. So infringement claims are, it's a company that says, you don't have the right to sell our property, or it's a fake one, or whatever it is. And it did remind me, like, I had these scary moments when I was first doing Amazon. So years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I bought a dog collar at a Goodwill, and I paid I think $5, and it was selling for 40 on Amazon
mm.
FBA. And the reason I remembered this was 2 weeks ago. Remember the garage sale I bought all that pet supply stuff?
Yep.
And I bought like I think 3 collars. No, sorry, 3 leashes, right?
Mm,
I don't want to call them collars. 3 leashes for $12, and they're going each for $35. So I'm
hmm,
like, nice profit. And then I hesitated sending them in because I remember what happened to me.
mm,
I bought this dog leash and I sent it into Amazon, and it sold like within a week. I mean, I was like, yes. I mean, this is the early days, so
mm.
any sale I was always pumped about. And then I get this message in my inbox, my Amazon inbox, going, please remove all of your inventory. It was like a cease and desist.
Mhm.
Like, basically, if you're unwilling to cooperate, we will take this into legal matters or whatever. As a new Amazon seller, I'm like freaking out. And so it got even worse because I'm reading it more and they said, we actually purchased this item and we verified that it was fake.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what? So this company went out of its way to purchase the item I sent into FBA, and then they, whatever reason, believed it was fake. Now, my question is, was it really fake?
Yeah, who makes knockoffs of like a
certain leash that's a specialty item?
Yeah.
Like if it was a Gucci or Nike shoes or something, but a random leash? Yeah. So, but it did scare me because it was like, man, this person could make this up. And even if it's untrue, like, you can get into having to get an attorney and all that. And so I just pulled the item. I didn't even pull the item because I didn't have it anymore. I just pulled the listing. I emailed them back, say, my sincerest apologies. This was picked up at a Goodwill. There was no attempt to, sell a fake product or any kind of infringement. This will no longer happen again. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Isn't it weird that people jump a lot of times immediately to like threats and like anger? We had that with a customer for an eBay sale like this week.
Really?
Where we sold this golf vest thing. And we did quite a bit of research on it. And it's one of those things, sometimes with clothing that you get, it's like, is this male or female, right? Is this a men's or a woman's, whatever it is? Sometimes it's really easy to tell and sometimes it's difficult. Well, we did a lot of research and what we could tell this style of this brand, it was like, okay, all of them that we can find are men's. So this seems like a men's vest. And so we sold it as a men's vest and the customer gets it. And then we get a message back from the customer that says, this is not a men's vest. This is a woman's vest. I want a refund or I will be opening up a case with eBay to resolve this issue.
Oh, wow.
And it's like
0 to 100.
Yeah, like all you had to do is ask. Like we were like, oh, sorry about that. Like we'll definitely do the refund. Could you also please let us know how you know it's a woman's? Because we'd like to know for the future, how to tell on this. And then we did the refund. And again, even with that, the person was a little rude. But it was like, if you'd have just said like, hey, I'm pretty sure this is a woman's vest, we would have done the refund, right? Like, but I find that a lot of people jump to that immediate, like, we will go to court over this.
Yeah.
Like, do we need to threaten? Like,
no, and on that side, I would have been like, whatever. Like on the Amazon side.
Oh, I know. There's definitely fear there
and there are people, and I know some listeners out there will disagree and say, Orlando, you don't have to pull down that listing. Like we get notifications like that all the time. And, they're not allowed to send you stuff like, and I've heard those arguments too. And I get it. Like if you want to go toe to toe, like that's okay. Like, I just know for myself, like I don't want to spend the time. I like sleeping well at night. I mean, now if I had like 1,000 items, then maybe, there's a discussion, but if it's like 1 or 2, or even if it's like 20, I'd rather take the loss and deal with the headache.
Yeah. Did you end up selling those leashes on eBay?
I have not done anything with those leashes.
You should sell them on eBay. They can't stop you from doing that.
No, I agree.
I mean, if they're fake, but they're not fake.
I'm gonna send them into Amazon after Q4.
You're gonna send them back in?
Yeah. No, not those. These are the leashes.
No, yeah, not the new ones. Okay, what'd you do with the old ones?
Oh no, it was only one.
Oh, it was just one.
It was just one. That's it. And so I lost whatever $40, lost some sleep, but it's over with. So, but again, to me, it's not worth the time in battling with it. Even calling Amazon seller support, I mean, it's just not worth the time for me. So, just my opinion. I could be wrong. All right.
Go. Are we at?
Let's look at the positive of Amazon. Did you hear about the latest announcement from Amazon?
Yeah, you're saying it's positive. I don't know if it is. It's good for you as an Amazon seller.
First, let's talk about what it is. Okay.
All right.
The announcement is Amazon is doing free shipping on all orders.
Okay, I got 2 negatives with this.
Wow, right off the gate. All right, go ahead.
Negative number 1. I'm an Amazon Prime member, which means I pay every year for free shipping.
Okay.
Am I going to get part of my payment back, like prorated, since they're offering it to everybody?
Don't know.
Right? Like, doesn't that seem fair? Like, I paid for a year of free shipping.
Or maybe they're going to give you extra benefits.
If they give me, well, Amazon gives me so much. I gladly pay the money every time I pay it. But,
okay, so what are you complaining about?
But at the same time, now everybody gets free shipping and people do pay, right? Like imagine if like Pandora was like, now it's no commercials for anybody for the next 3 months. Sorry if you've already paid.
Pandora? Is Pandora still around?
I think people still use it.
I'm a Spotify kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm an Amazon Music kind of guy.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, so go Amazon.
Okay.
Second negative which is the positive for you. I think more people are gonna be looking for stuff on Amazon that
Yes.
normally look on eBay, right?
Yes.
Like, so the toys that I can't sell on Amazon because 'cause I'm gated, but I'm hoping like, hey, maybe people who don't have Amazon Prime will be willing to get, free shipping on eBay, are gonna go to Amazon. Good for you, bad for me.
Well, to me, so this speaks volumes about the difference between Amazon and other e-commerce. Like Amazon always seems to be one step ahead of everybody else. I mean, when I heard this, I kind of hesitated. I go, what does this mean? And I go, wait a second. That means Amazon will be the place.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because Target was trying to compete, right? They're doing free 2-day shipping on, I think there was a threshold. I don't even know if the threshold is there anymore. And then Walmart, also free 2-day shipping. But now Amazon is saying on all of it, right? And you can always find things on Amazon that you can't find on Target and you can't find on Walmart. But most of the time, you can find stuff on Amazon.
Yeah. It's the everything store.
So to me, it's like, this is incredible. Like if there's ever a time for me to fill the warehouses, it is now.
Yeah, I could see that.
But that's what I mean.
That's
like,
great for all of you Amazon FBA sellers. Congratulations. I think it might hurt us eBayers though, a little bit.
I think it will. I'm sorry. I mean, but I'm an eBayer too. I have stuff on eBay I'm trying to sell in Q4.
Yeah, but
Not
what
like
what you
Amazon.
lose on eBay, you'll more than make up for on
No,
Amazon.
I know. I just think that's crazy. Like, no, so that means you can like buy a $10 toy and
It's free shipping.
It's free shipping.
Yep. Which if you're a Prime member, it's nothing special. But if you're not, like I could see why I only became a Prime member the first time because they were offering, I think, like half price for college students. And I was a college student at the time. So it was like, oh, sweet. Like it was like $50 or $49 for the whole year. And then after that, it was hooked, right? Like, and I think that's part of what they're going to be doing. Once people see what it's like to have free 2-day shipping on anything you can imagine, like there's times where I get something that's like $3.99 off of Amazon. I get free shipping for it. I'm like, they have to be losing money, but
yeah. But I think for them, it's the overall. It's a big deal.
Yeah, they're the place to be.
And not only that, but if you take a look at it, the fact that they're offering free shipping, you also have two groups on Amazon, right? You have people that do Amazon FBA, and then you have merchant fulfilled. You know what merchant fulfilled is?
Yep. It's where people are storing it themselves and they ship it out themselves.
Yeah. So it's gonna affect them too, right? And I already saw that. I know many of you that are Amazon sellers, you've been seeing this for weeks. It says, cannot be shipped to the warehouse unless it's FBA. So it's even gonna hurt, I think, merchant fulfilled people, right? So the thing now is you're gonna have to send it to FBA, which ultimately Amazon will make more money on, right? Because they can charge more fees and they'll get more items to sell. Amazon, they're smart.
They are.
Like Bezos, I can't diss him. Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, the business is. So I guess the best way I can capitalize on Amazon right now is just to buy Amazon stock.
Yeah, I guess
right?
so.
Like I don't know.
I guess so, but I'm pumped. Like if there was ever a Q4 I needed this to happen, it's now because I have all this Toys R Us inventory that's been selling, but now will for sure sell. I know so fast.
No, that's awesome. That's good.
You're saying that like you're trying so hard like to keep your smile.
No, really, like I don't want to come off as if like I'm jealous. Because I'm not. I'm really excited for you, but I just like I want mine too. You know what I mean?
I
like,
get it,
I
but the pie is big enough that everybody can get a piece of the pie.
But I don't know about the Amazon pie. I feel like the Amazon pie, they've like closed the doors.
No, I will say they have. They have, because I remember when I jumped into doing toys on FBA, I want to say maybe it's 4 years ago now. I've been doing FBA for several years, but when I specifically was doing toys, I remember it was a lot easier to have a piece of that pie. And now it's just, it's rough. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Hey, I'm not complaining, man. I'm out there hustling. I'm still making money. I'll figure out a way. I'm building my empire one way or another, man.
There you go. All right. And then last of all, I don't know, do we want to talk about this? It's more like a rant. But I keep seeing more people get sent offers, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
And let me put that into context. So again, eBay is supposed to roll out a program that you can send offers like you can do on Poshmark. And you can also get immediate payments. And I haven't seen people talk about the immediate payment yet, but I definitely have seen more and more people on IG do send offer. But I haven't heard anybody say it's such an awesome program yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have it yet, but I guess we're not missing out on anything yet if it's not really working. So, but I think over time it'll build up and it'll be something that even customers are waiting for, right? Like, I just worry, are people going to do that? Like, put stuff in their carts or put stuff just in hopes that they're going to get offers. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, but it's like Mercari, and it's, I don't know if Posh is the same, but a Mercari, you like items, right? And the hope is that if enough people like it, that seller is going to drop the price on it, right? It's kind of like this. I tell you, this mob mentality. It's like this peer pressure builds on that person, like drop that price, right? And I don't know. I wonder, on eBay, if it's how well it's going to work, and and we've already talked about a lot of the reasons, but on some of the items, like, they're trying to make it all under one listing, right? Kind of like Amazon. Like if you have an iPad, whatever, iPad Air, like all the iPad Airs will go under one listing.
Yeah, that's so weird. I can't imagine that working because there's so many different conditions and people have different bundles and people like this one comes with a case and this one doesn't. And this one has a crack on the top left and this one doesn't. And this one,
Well, no,
like,
but there'll be different categories for condition too. Like you'll be able to, it's just like Amazon. Amazon for books, you can put
it's true.
Like new, very good, good, and so on. Same with electronics, you can do that.
It would just be weird to browse eBay with a different like structure.
No, I get that, but again, this is why I keep saying, like, I think eBay is a sustainable model because again, you're selling items that are. Think about it. How are you going to categorize all the Rain Spooner shirts into one listing?
Yep.
It's like impossible. Right? Maybe you'll be able to, but that's a lot of legwork. And I don't know if eBay really wants to do all that work.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it for certain categories, right? Like iPads, all iPad Air 2s in one. Like that makes sense. But yeah, like you said, when there's so many different variations of a product, those ones they probably won't touch.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. And speaking of Poshmark, since we talked about Poshmark, I just want to say, I've had several of our listeners who've shared stuff on my store and have like made comments and said, hey, love the podcast. Thank you guys. Honestly, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for listening to the podcast. First of all, that's awesome.
Big deal.
Thank you for sharing our stuff. You guys don't always tell me what your like Instagram handle is. Like it'd be great if like you can comment that too, so that way I can like blast your closet out on Instagram. So everybody can know like what your closet is, so they can share your stuff too. But honestly, like every time I see that, like I get so, I don't know, it's like humbled, excited, like it's just amazing. Like I can't believe that you guys like listen and enjoy and are going and sharing and helping me out, right, by sharing my stuff. Like it's just so awesome.
And it's a reselling community. I mean, I will tell you, it's one of the most welcoming communities out there. And it does have its set of drama, but overall, like people are just willing to help each other out.
Yeah, especially our listeners. I don't know how everybody else is, but our listeners are amazing.
You guys are awesome. All right, I have one more topic, and then we'll get into other stuff. So I want to talk about Bonanza a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about, Bonanza?
Isn't that like an old TV show?
Yeah, it is. It is. But so I kind of hesitated on bringing up Bonanza, but I thought I would because maybe it'll help a bunch of other sellers. So Bonanza.com is another platform. And it's been around for a few years, and I'll get random sales. Like the other day was the first sale I think I had like in 2 months. But what I find with Bonanza.com is that when people buy stuff, like it's usually full price every time. One of my biggest bundle sales ever was on Bonanza. Somebody bought like 5 Ninja Turtle shirts, 3 Ninja Turtle hats, all this Ninja Turtle stuff all in one. And, several $100 sale. And I've sold all kinds of stuff. Now, the reason I want to bring up Bonanza, it's not because it's another place to cross post. Bonanza has an eBay importer. So what it does is you can import all your eBay listings into Bonanza. And so it's the legwork isn't as much as like on Poshmark where you have to, bring pictures over, descriptions over.
Do you have to pay per listing?
Yeah, there's fees and everything, just like everything else. Well, no, but you don't pay. You're not paying any fees to have your items over there. You only pay when you sell. Now, there's a catch to this. Okay, I want to warn everybody here. So in the early days when I was using Bonanza and Bonanza Market, if you're listening, maybe this is something that you fixed and want to let us know, and we'll bring it up in the next podcast. They actually did, congratulate me on my latest Bonanza sale on Instagram.
Wow,
I was a little shocked. But And so Bonanza used to be, so they would sync both accounts. So you would import all your eBay listings and they would sync it. And so when something sold on Bonanza, it would go down on eBay. And if it sold on eBay, it would go down on Amazon. And you wouldn't have to do anything. You just had to make sure, sometimes you got to relist items that you didn't relist, so you just deleted that item. Well, I want to say about a year ago, it stopped being that smooth. And so I remember the first time that happened, I sold something on eBay, and then that person bought it like a week later on Bonanza, and it wasn't there anymore. And I had to cancel the sale on Bonanza.
Oh.
Okay. But it's Bonanza, so, I'm not as worried as if it was on eBay. But I looked at, I thought about sharing this today, and I go, do I really want to share this? Because, what is this? The glitch happened and they missed something, but it's not any different than if you sold something on eBay that was on Poshmark and you had to go to Poshmark and you had to pull the listing. Right. So I would say if you decide to use Bonanza, just treat it like you're doing a cross-posting with Poshmark or Mercari. And if something sells on eBay, right, make sure it's no longer on Bonanza. Or if it sells on Bonanza, make sure it's no longer on eBay. Just the same principle applies. I actually, today, what I did is after I sold the item, I did go to my eBay and it was not pulled on my eBay. But all the items I sold on eBay today were pulled from my Bonanza.
So it's going one direction, just not the other right now?
Correct.
Okay.
So I think it's a great tool. I mean, I made an extra $42 on a tie that I wouldn't have sold, on eBay maybe, and it had been sitting and it sold.
Hey, I'm always up for trying something new, right?
I would check it out. I definitely would.
Yeah. Cool.
The import takes like 24, 48 hours, and it pretty much brings everything over, your description, your pictures, all of it.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just, and then there's other things they have on there where like you can pay, like it's like promoted listings.
Right.
Right. But they have it more tied into Google search that they can do more. And so it's really helpful. One of the things I also wanted to talk about more about the Bonanza was if you go to their page, I would just Google like eBay importer Bonanza, and they have a whole set of questions with information. How do I import auctions and unsold items? What doesn't import? What are the known limitations of eBay importer? Will my listing data be revised during each sync? They have all the information on there. So I would check it out. I mean, it's something that, I had some people on IG comment like, I stopped using it months ago because of the glitches. And then I had other people going, you know what, maybe it's time for me to go back. So just throw it out there for everybody.
Cool. Yeah, let us know too. How are you experiencing Bonanza? Are you experiencing glitches? Do you like it? Do you feel like it's just like cross-posting on anything else except for they do a lot of the legwork up front for you?
A lot of the legwork.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I import, several thousand listings over the last few years and it just imports it all.
Well, let me tell you just real quick what we've been doing. It's really easy to list on Poshmark. I feel like quite a bit easier than eBay. So we'll list a bunch of our clothing on Poshmark. And then throughout the week when we have free time, we move those listings from Poshmark over to eBay. So that way, we get them all done at once on Poshmark, and then, a couple here, a couple there. And I feel like when we do our conspiracy episode, we could talk about that. But I feel like that's been helping us get sales because we're getting consistently adding things to our store, and doing that bulk upload to Posh and then slowly throughout the week on eBay has been kind of helpful.
All right. I'm glad you brought up the conspiracy. So we are planning our conspiracy episode. Not next episode.
Or are we planning it?
Oh my goodness. So let's see. We're
conspiracies within conspiracies.
Oh my. Okay. All right. So we're on episode 22. Our next one is, are we growing as resellers? Episode 23. Then we have update 24. But for our 25th episode anniversary, we're going to make it the conspiracy episode.
25.
So what we need is help from all of you. So if there are any eBay conspiracies you want discussed, not saying we'll get to all of them. I don't know how many there are. But if you have eBay conspiracy, you got Amazon conspiracy, any e-commerce conspiracies, and I'll throw some out there. There's some that say that eBay is throttling. There are others that, all eBay, Amazon, all of them are owned and by the same company that owns Facebook and Instagram. And Facebook owns Instagram, but they owns
like almost like Illuminati style.
Yeah. There's that conspiracy. There's all these, there's the algorithm conspiracy, right? If you do anything, you trigger it this way, you trigger it that way. So what we need from all of you is to send us, whether in DMs, right? We are Instagram. We are Pure Hustle Podcast on Instagram. We're Pure Hustle Cast on Twitter. We are Pure Hustle Podcast on Facebook. You can also email us at purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. And you can also reach out to us on our phone number, 619-738-1170. That's 619-738-1170. Leave us a message. We'd love to play it on the air about your e-commerce conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
It'll be fun.
And we'll try and keep it to just reselling conspiracies because there's a lot of
conspiracies. No, it has to stay reselling. Yeah, we could. But I think we've had some people ask us,
maybe like, episode 25 and a half will be like the non-resale related conspiracies. And
like that one will real deal?
That one will go on our secret page.
Our secret page.
For those of you
secret reselling
who know about that.
There's a lot of interesting. We haven't even talked about the different kind of markets on eBay that you can sell stuff on. I don't know. Maybe we don't want to go there. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, no. It's
we'll talk about it.
We'll say Pure Hustle Podcast. Now, also with that, hey, love if you guys would share our YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and, give some love on the podcast. Share some reviews. Every once in a while, we there's a listener that just for a reason didn't like us at that moment in time, and we ended up getting a bad review. But, we
got a bad review on iTunes?
Oh, yeah. We have like 2 or 3.
Oh, no.
Well, so we're not everybody's cup of tea.
That's all right.
But, hey, if you are enjoying it, we would love, and thank you to all of you right now that have already done it. I've seen some recent ones, and I'm pumped. I'm excited. So thank you.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate you sharing our stuff with your friends. We want to reach as many people as possible because we look at it as a network that we're a part of, right? Like as more people hear Pure Hustle Podcast, the more information we've got coming into us, people sending us stuff on Instagram, people calling us, giving us BOLOs that we can share with you, giving us hustles of the week, which we can share.
Non-retail related BOLOs.
Yeah.
The right BOLOs.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that more.
No, we're not gonna talk. I just want to be clear on that because I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing some crazy BOLOs on IG, and I'm like, the market will tank on those.
Maybe that's a conspiracy. Like maybe that's what people are trying to do. Maybe they're trying to tank markets on purpose.
Oh, I got a perfect conspiracy about that. Wait till the episode.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. All right.
So speaking of hustles of the week that we can share, I think we have some, right?
We do, but our listeners have some awesome ones that they shared with us. So we had a lot of hustles of the week, and we always say this: like we only have time for like 3, unless we want to make an epic Lord of the Rings episode one time, and maybe we'll do that one day.
Just an episode that's nothing but hustles.
Hustles of the week.
Yeah, and I still think my plan, and we're gonna organize and figure out how to make it work. But I like the idea of doing like throughout maybe like a couple of week period where people submit them and then they're voted on by listeners through Instagram. What they think the hustle of the week should be, and then if you win, like maybe there's something for winning, right? Like a T-shirt or something. Like you won.
We have new T-shirts coming.
Like the hustle of the month. We do. We've got new T-shirts in the works.
New design.
Yeah,
We're not changing our logo though, right?
Logo's the same, man.
So Mike went rogue on this one. Like he told me after the fact
that the design changed.
Yeah. Wait, design change.
Well, I mean,
not logo. Okay, like where
same logo, but yeah, it's gonna look a little bit different. And then
I was waiting for him to say it's gonna look better.
Well,
because this was my original design.
It will look better, but
okay,
that's okay. But the shirts are going to be so soft. Like these shirts are nice. I like these shirts.
And we appreciate all of you that originally got shirts. Okay, please know, keep wearing them, keep representing.
Yeah.
We are thankful.
The new shirts that we've got coming in, I don't know what it is. It's the softest thing I've ever felt in my life.
They're soft.
These are soft. These are good shirts. The shirts coming in are great shirts.
So forced. Okay. All right, let's get to Hustle of the Week.
All right, Hustle of the Week.
All right, you want to go first? First listener, go for it.
All right, so this person's on Instagram. So follow him if you're not. It's at maleficent.hb. At maleficent.hb. So
I'm going to look it up just to confirm while you're sharing it.
This one is super awesome. So 2 items this person picks up. 1, picked up a St. John evening silk sheer outfit and an Emporio Armani. Am I saying that right? Emporio Armani silver leather jacket for $8.
She was awesome. Like, read the rest. It's such a good.
These are 2 great brands, right? A St. John and an Armani. So picked up the St. John at Savers and was missed by the employees somehow. Okay, so we know at thrift stores that they know what they're looking for certain things, right? And they're not going to put them out on the racks if it's the high end stuff. But somehow this one got missed, so it goes out at a Savers, and the Armani jacket was in the Halloween section at Goodwill. Right, genius to even check there, right? Like, because somebody might see something and be like, "Oh, this is like a."
I've done that before though. Like you should always check. You never know.
I'm gonna have to do that next year. So the Armani jacket, Halloween section at Goodwill. Another reason why you should always just be checking everything you see in the store. So the St. John sold for $217.88, and the Armani
wait. Plus
shipping.
Savage. That's all I can say. Like, I love it when people sell stuff at a good price and then
they
plus
add shipping,
right?
That's legit.
That's beast mode.
That's awesome. And then the Armani jacket for $350.40 plus shipping. Both on Poshmark. There you go, Poshmark.
I know.
What's your closet? Let us know your closet at Maleficent.
I know. I did DM them. I didn't.
You didn't get the closet.
I didn't hear them back. I DM'd them too late. But if we do, maybe we'll throw it on somewhere.
Yeah.
Try it out. So
check out that closet because those are some awesome sales.
That is. Think about that.
Straight hustle of the week.
That is hustle of the week. So thank you again, Maleficent, MALEFICENT.HB on Instagram. So awesome. Maleficent, Disney character, right?
Yeah, Maleficent.
Nice. Okay. All right. So our other hustle of the week comes from Will and Jenny. They're at Thrifty Nomads on Instagram.
There's some awesome peeps, huh?
They're probably one of the first people that were on Wade's Ventures. Like there's this kind of like group of like Wade's Ventures, like people that, like sell quick, ship quick. Like we got to know them through that. And I actually might be seeing Thrifty Nomads this week.
Oh, that's cool.
And sell quick, ship quick later on this week.
Tell them I say hi.
I will. So they had this awesome estate sale. Now, I was just talking about estate sale, how they pick through everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's some estate sales that are awesome. They went to one where it seemed like nothing was picked through. And they went in and they picked up, I forget, it's like 40-something clothing items for $47. Okay, so let me read some of these items.
So that's slightly over $1 per item. That's incredible.
I think they just paid $1. Okay, let me read some of the items. They picked up a Pendleton floral sweater, a Pendleton Christmas sweater, a Pendleton blue sweater, a New at Tags vintage USC sweater, Givenchy sweater. Oh, here's the other bigger items. They also sold 2 Van Halen shirts from a rock tour in the 80s. The shirts might be going for $150 to $170 each. Okay,
that's like a hustle of a lifetime.
Well, no, there's more. So all these 47 pieces. Okay, so they have a bunch of other stuff. Some of it, is not going to sell for as much, right? They all paid $1 for it. Okay,
so was this like when you were talking to them about it? They just had like a whole bunch of them, they like lotted them together and like, we'll give you this price, or did they individually pick out these 40?
No, okay. So I saw that it was actually an IG story last week. They went to this house and, you go through different rooms, and the best ones are when the rooms are untouched. And they just kept sourcing and they didn't even know what the price was. So they went and asked, and the lady's like, oh, it's $1 a piece. Right? I mean, think about that. So they picked up all these items, and it's funny because on Instagram, you see Will's wife, Jenny, she's like spinning around with these bags of clothing because they're so happy. But yeah, it was the score. Estimated gross profit anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. That's a hustle of the week. So, hey, if you want to check out their Poshmark and share their closet, they are E_vendables. E_vendables. So E_VENDIBLES. E-vendables.
Yeah. Share their stuff.
They're some of the sweetest.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, please do. I mean, they are legit. I mean, Will, I think, just started going full time a few months ago. And they have 2 awesome boys, just a great family dynamic. Some of the kindest people I know. Always an IG, always encouraging, just good people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let them know we sent you when you share their stuff so that they know that we appreciate them and all that they're doing for the community.
Oh, it's such a sweet score. I'm happy for them. Now they got to get to listing it, though.
Oh,
yeah, that was
40 items. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but when you have a backlog of other items.
But if they're doing it on Poshmark, telling you, man, we got through that 100 items on Poshmark in a weekend. It wasn't bad.
Crack me up. You are. So one of our favorite episodes is we did a Poshmark versus eBay kind of deal. We need to have one where it's just Poshmark versus eBay versus Amazon.
eBay versus Amazon?
eBay versus Amazon, but Amazon win. But Poshmark versus eBay. And just talk about what are the benefits of both.
Yeah.
Because I'm still a hardcore eBay guy.
I've seen a few people have DM'd us saying that you should try it. I think
I know.
Put 10 clothing items up on Poshmark. See what happens.
Just it's a lot of time.
You got a helper now, though.
I do, which has been going great. Okay, one tip I will get, and we'll share with the helper. I might as well share this now. So, if you've been following us on Instagram, I decided to let her do all the clothing. Remember, part of my update was I was going to get a lighting kit, and so I bought a lighting kit. I bought a backdrop. I bought what else? Oh, I got the mannequin, and I dropped them all off. But I didn't leave a lot of direction. I kind of just said, "Hey, take a look at my pictures on eBay. Do the same thing." And she's awesome, but it didn't come out the same. And I think it's because I didn't go through the process. Like, hey, this is how you shoot this angle. This is how you make sure you get the lighting here. This is how you do this. And so those of you that are thinking about getting a helper, I think you got to be very direct. I took it for granted because, you have all this knowledge. It's just natural to you now, right? I don't think twice about how am I going to take this picture or how I'm going to package this. So one of the things you got to be very, direct with people. So just something to think about since we're talking about that. All right, let's get to our last hustle of the week from listeners. Okay, so this is one of the most intense hustles of the week we've had. I mean, I'm talking about this is big.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Okay, so if you guys don't know who the College Picker is, Eric, the College Picker, he's awesome. He has a YouTube channel. He's been around for a while. Him and Bonafide Hustler and Reagan Prophet, they run the Green Room University. It's another group you can join, and they share a lot of topics and info. So the College Picker, on his way, so he's out in Arizona, and they're going to go to Utah. Him and a friend of his, we're going to go work out, and it's around noon. Okay, so they're just driving out there. They're not, this is noonish. Okay, so this isn't like got up early, went and did that hustle, right? And so they drive and they see an A-frame yard sale sign. But he says it looked like a permanent sign. You know those permanent?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand permanent garage sales. Yep. Just drives you crazy. Okay, anyways. So they're like, nah, let's skip it. And then they turn the corner and they saw this pink neon sign. And they look at the sign. They see it's a yard sale. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go anyways. So and it's just a small town. Okay, and there's very kind of closed off communities in parts of Arizona and Utah. And so they drive through this community and they show up. And it's funny because he DMs me. He goes, it was not the golden hour, right? You know the golden hour.
Yeah.
This is like early, right? And so he goes and he sees this Levi jacket. And he notices something on it. Now, before I go into what he notices, how much do you think he paid for this denim jacket?
Denim jacket, $5?
He paid $1.50.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's a really good price.
It doesn't stop there. Have you heard about vintage Levi's, what to look for?
Is it the capital E?
Yes.
Yep. I saw that. I've been looking at how to tell for, pants.
I have looked for years.
I haven't found one yet.
Years. Like there was a time when I constantly was looking, going, maybe. I just stopped looking. I don't even look at all. But he found one.
Nice.
He found it. It was a biggie. It was. So let me tell you how big of a deal this is. So again, this is rare, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the stories where some sell for like thousands?
I did not know that. That sounds
up to 100,000.
awesome.
Oh, no. We're talking about like if you find like old ones, like early 1900s, late 1800s.
Is this just jackets or pants too, or? No,
this was a denim jacket. Oh no, it's anything that's vintage, right? That has a big E. So, there's a market, and especially like I know like in certain places, like there's just huge markets for them, and they're collector items. They're just big deals. And I remember seeing one, like they found one that was like buried like in a mine under dirt, and it was all messed up. And, I don't know. It sold maybe close to 100K. I don't remember. It was just some outrageous number. Okay, I'm actually trying to look it up right now, but I can't find it. But you got to look out for them. Okay, not go. I'm not saying like every thrift store. Like I'm gonna go through every Levi's, but keep an eye, be aware.
Yeah, be looking for them.
So he finds it. He finds one similar that's sold on auction on eBay for $500, but it's like destroyed. Okay. Then he found another one that was in bad condition that was sold for like $1,200.
Ooh, I'm liking this.
Okay. Then he finds one that's in worse condition than the one that he had, and that sold for $2,600. Okay. Now there's one currently on eBay they're trying to sell for $1,200 that's in worse condition than his. Okay. So what he picked up was a blank line. So there's like nothing there. So if you just look this up, you just look it up on Google. I was able to find it. And he found a 517 double lowercase x. So 517XX, which is the blank line version. Right? So the ones on eBay that have been selling for, a decent amount are 507 double X. Okay, and those of you that are Levi connoisseurs, you have more an idea what I'm talking about. I'm just sharing the information.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Okay.
But this sounds awesome.
BOLO. But this is like holy grail stuff. Like you don't come across this stuff. So let's put it this way. This is how much these are worth. So Levi's, you know how sometimes companies try to do retro, like go back, like, like those rocker shirts and stuff. So they did, and they put on their website a similar one, but a retro version. Those were going for $375. Okay, so he has one that's original in the condition that is kind of like dead stock. Okay, no tags, but it's pretty much in dead stock condition for $1.50. My guess is this thing can go far more than $2,500. If he goes auction and he gets a certain collector, who knows?
Yeah, it's dangerous auction though, right? Because, is that collector looking for it at this time, but wow.
Well, I'm not saying go to auction. I don't even know if he's going to sell it. Like I told him today, I said, I would have a hard time selling it, right? I mean, think about it. Like
you'd keep it?
I'm beginning to do a little bit of hoarding these days.
I was going to say, you're going to put it on Freddie Funko and like.
Oh, Freddie Funko. Yeah. Like Freddie Funko's here in the studio with us. I can't sell him. He's just hanging out. Okay, here, I found that before we go back to College Picker story. So 125-year-old pair of Levi's. Okay, so these Levi's that College Picker found were, I think, 1940s, 1950s, right? This is a pair, 125-year-old pair of Levi jeans sells for almost $100,000. Okay, now chances that you'll find this are pretty much slim to none. Okay,
yeah, more like none. I think Slim just left.
But look, the denim was produced in New Hampshire. Okay, and I think they found this while they were digging. And I've seen others that are sold similar that were just like parts of jeans, and they still sell for a lot of money. So I don't know if Eric can sell this. I personally wouldn't sell it.
We'll have to see. I would sell it, no problem. But
wow, well, okay, but this is like, think about it. His jacket's like dead stock, and it's lined, and it's a unique version.
I think about it though, like if I wouldn't buy it for its full price, I don't know if I would keep it when I could sell it, because you're basically doing that. You're basically buying it.
Let's put it this way. I think if it was a guaranteed, like several like life-changing amount, I'd probably sell it.
But see, if you could sell it for $3,000, I'll throw that number out there. You could sell it for $3,000, or you could keep it. You're basically buying it for $3,000 because you're out $3,000 profit that would be in your bank account.
I get that argument. I get that.
So, I mean, if you really, really like it.
But I think about like my trains. Remember that haul of trains? Like I haven't been able to list it. Man, those trains.
And see,
I could probably make $4,000 to $5,000 on those trains.
I didn't realize you were so sentimental. I thought you were like, get rid of stuff.
I'm changing.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be one of those guys on American Pickers.
Yeah.
Like, I picked that up in 2018.
They're going to come to your house and want to buy a bunch of stuff. And you're going to be like,
no bundle mania, Frank. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's crazy.
So anyways,
that's awesome.
Eric, College Picker, the College Picker. Okay, he has a YouTube. Okay, you should check him out.
Yeah, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to his YouTube, watch his stuff, let him know that we sent you. Because again, we want him to know how much we appreciate, what he's doing, what he's putting out there, and the fact that he's contributing to this community by, giving us these hustles of the week. So let him know we sent you.
And what I appreciate about Eric is that he's always sharing information to help people.
Yeah.
Like today, and I'll talk about this in the next episode, but he did a whole thing about how you're losing money if you're not using a toner cartridge and you're using inkjet. Right. And he actually went through a whole process about how to test these items in a thrift store before you leave. Just good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyways, hey, Eric, thanks so much for being willing to share this story with us. It's an amazing story. Congratulations. Excited for you. I kind of don't want to see a sale, but if there is a sale, we'd love to hear about it. So thank you so much, Eric.
I vote sell it.
All right. So again, it's The College Picker on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you so much.
And since we're talking about sentimental, I think that kind of leads into my quote of the week.
Wait, I thought we were getting hustle of the week.
Yeah.
I thought we eliminated quotes of the week from the show.
No, quote of the week is never going away. Okay. It's here to stay.
All right, go for it.
The listeners have spoken.
They really have.
They have demanded it.
You have. Okay.
All right. So, and again, sometimes my quotes that I give are 100% word for word verbatim. Sometimes they're just ish, right? Close. I think this is a time where it's ish. It's close. But essentially, the quote is something like this. Be grateful for the little things in your life now, because you might look back years from now and the little things become the big things, right? So like the little things that you kind of are taking for granted today and that you're not really grateful for might be the things 10 years you look back and say, man, those were the good times. I really miss this. I wish I would have had more time, with this person or with this thing or in this time of my life.
So apply that to reselling.
Attitude.
Awkward, but that was one of the longest awkward pauses we've ever had.
Because I want to articulate this well.
Okay.
I think it does apply because we've talked a lot about attitude while reselling, right? Having the right perspective.
Okay.
We also talk about that it's work, it's hard, it's a grind. But let's say you get to a place where you make it, right? Like you've done it, you've reached the top, you've gone through the hustle, the hard work, and you don't have to hustle as hard. Maybe you're not going to garage sales anymore. Maybe you're not listing stuff on your own because you got employees. I don't know, right? Like who knows where you end up 20 years down the road. And you might look back and say, you know what? Those were the good times. I missed that. Like listing, staying up late at night. Like at the time it was work, it was grind. But that might be the stuff that you're going to look back and have some of the fondest memories of. So be grateful for it now. Like be glad that you have the opportunity to be doing the work now.
You know what? You're right. It's a good quote. Because I just when you're talking about that, I remember when I was first reselling, and I remember my stepdaughter needed to go to the movies or something, and I pulled out this wad of cash, and I'm like, "Here you go, no problem." And I only had $160 at that time. This was like a month. This was years ago into my reselling, and that felt nice.
Yeah.
Like now it's not a big deal, but man, I cherish that because I remember at that point in time, like we were like paycheck to paycheck, but I think actually worse than paycheck to paycheck. And then we couldn't even like do extra things like that. So, pulling out that water reminded my dad. Growing up, my dad would always like drop money on me, like, here's a 20, keep the change. And I never was able to do that. But with reselling, it changed my life. So good call.
Yeah, be grateful for those little things now because you're going to look back and those are going to be the times that you remember and talk about.
That is awesome. All right. So what about our hustles of the week?
Ooh. You want to hear mine? Mine's a weird one.
Okay.
I've actually bought a lot of things that okay, so today's garage sale, not great. I did not do well out at the sales today. But I did do pretty good the week before, right? So some of you guys saw on Instagram the mug that I picked up and sold. I just want to talk about it because I think it was pretty cool. So this was one of those, like, it's not golden hour anymore. Like, I'm about ready to go home. I'm like on my way home and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look real quick on the garage sale treasure map app, right? And I see there's a garage sale not too far from me. And I had actually saw this one before I had left the house that morning because it said that it was selling some Dungeons and Dragons pieces. And I was like, oh, I love that stuff. But it started at, I think, 6 or 6:30, and I was going all the way across town at some community sales. So I was like, I'm never gonna make that sell in time to get all the good stuff. And at this time, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I know all the good stuff is gone, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna show up and see what they have,
Nice.
right? So I drive the 3 or 4 blocks it takes to get over there, and I'm looking, and it's like as soon as I pull up, it's like, you know how like you just can tell like it's not gonna be good? Like that's what I felt like.
Like it's all sparse and there's like old cups. You know what I
That's
mean?
what it was. It
Yeah.
was like mugs and dishes and some knickknacks.
The worst is when those like there's those theme park cups that people are trying to offload. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a bummer. And I end up picking up, I see these 3 mugs of all the things they had. There were these 3 mugs that were really bizarre. So I researched them, and one of the things that sparked my attention, besides the fact that they looked bizarre, was they were asking a lot of money. I think they were wanting like $45 or $50 for each one of the mugs.
Really?
And I'm thinking like, this is weird, right? So I look it up, and sure enough, the first one that I pick up was the Genie mug, and they're selling for like $100 or close to it. And
Wow.
I'm like, all right, so like there's 3 of them here. I wonder what I can bundle them and talk them down. But
Yeah.
I did the smart thing and I checked the other 2 because there was one that was like an Indian, another one that was Long John Silvers, I think were the 3 mugs. And I picked them all up, and only the Genie one is going for that much. The other 2 were selling for like $25. So I'm like, I just want this Genie. So I grabbed a few other things, I bundled it together. I talked her down to I think $30. And it sold within a few days for
Nice.
$90 plus $9.99 shipping and handling.
That is awesome. Did you
Yeah.
go mug life on it?
I did. I packed it. Well, I floated it. So I did the box, the bubble wrap, the box, but then I floated it inside another box because it was big. It was too big for a
Yeah, because I
mailer.
saw the mug and it's like mug life works for most mugs, but if it's like one of the bigger mugs,
Yeah,
it
this
gets
was
a little
big.
tight.
This was really, really big. Probably about 1.5 to 2 times the size of like a normal mug.
Yeah.
So I floated it inside another box. Plus, I was willing to spend extra on shipping this box because someone paid $100 for this.
Well,
thing.
and that's one of the things we talk about, like our mug life video packing. Like if the mug's worth like $10 or $50, I think it's still okay. But
Yeah.
if you're getting like north of 50, like you want to be ultra careful.
Yeah.
Not
float
that
it inside of
yeah.
something like
Not
package
that
it that
system
way.
doesn't work. It still would have worked, but you just want to be extra careful.
Yeah, extra safe. But yeah, no, it's just neat to see something that sold like that fast. As soon as I got home, I told my wife, I'm like, I bought this mug. I paid $30 for it. You should have seen her face. She's like, what? But she trusts me.
Did
She's
she
like,
see the mug before you told her?
No, I showed it to her, and she's like, I mean, that's part of the reason she gave me the face. But she trusts. She's like, well, I know you did the research, and
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the mug, it's on our
sold.
Instagram account. It's on a feed from, I don't know, by the time the podcast drops, it'll be like a week and a half or so.
Yeah.
You'll find it. You can't miss the mug. It's pretty obvious.
It's interesting. But that's my hustle of the week. Was that the most money I've made in this week? Probably not, but it was cool, right? I feel like it was a good hustle because I went so late. I did the research. I paid up on something I usually don't pay up.
I'm proud of you.
You know?
You paid up. That
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard as a reseller.
Yeah.
Like when you're first starting.
Because I could be stuck with this $30 ugly mug, was what I was thinking. But
you
I was
did the
confident.
research.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Ever since the whole mug life thing is starting, like I've sold a mug like that. I haven't sold any mugs in like 7 months or whatever, and randomly I sold a mug.
You're becoming a mug life believer.
No,
That's why.
well, I'm still a mug life believer, but about the right mug life. But it's funny because the mug that sold was the mug that we talked about 2 podcasts ago. The ugly face mug. Like one of them sold for $30. What are the odds? Just the irony in it all.
Maybe it was a listener.
Maybe it was.
Hey.
Thank you, by the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So what about you? What was your hustle of the week?
So my hustle of the week, I'm very proud of. And a good pride. Not an arrogant kind of pride. Like I feel good about it. Like I'm glad this happened. So I told you I have this problem about hoarding.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably remember this. I think we showed it. Remember we did this show with Wade's Ventures, and I had that CD player, the Sony CD player that was sealed.
Yep.
Right. And so and remember when did we shoot? When did we do that YouTube? Was it like
that was early? That was
like
what?
August, July?
Yeah, July
sometime?
or August, something like that.
Okay. So I picked it up in an estate sale. It's a sealed Sony CD player. Okay, CD Walkman. Okay. New and packaged, sealed, right? I paid $1 at the estate sale. Now, here's what's crazy about that estate sale. So I walked into the estate sale. On one side, there's all these books and the other side was like little trinkets. So I go to the book section and I ask, the person running it, like, how much for these books? And they're like, oh, I think they said like some outrageous number, like $5 a book or something like that.
Ooh.
It was like really bad. I don't remember what it was. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Then I look to my right and I'm like, all the trinkets and everything. There's this sealed Sony CD Walkman, and I know their money. And I ask them, like, how much? She's like, $2. I'm like, how about $1? And she's like, all right.
Nice.
So think about that.
Yeah, people value stuff interestingly, right? Like $5 on books, $1 on the unopened Sony Walkman.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It was wild. So, and I knew what I had. Like, again, part of the reselling game is having that knowledge base. Like, I had no question like that was worth that amount of money. And I want to bring something up while we talk about this. So, I did get challenged a little bit on IG. Like, why didn't you just, and this is on different posts. Why don't you just pay people the $2? Why do you haggle them down to the $1? Right? And I want people to think about this. Like, let's say every sale was like that. Right? You're talking about losing about hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right? So you got to think it through. Like, it's a business. Right? So every dollar counts.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get them down 20% on each item, that's huge, right? Like over 1,000 items, that adds up, especially when you're buying things that are, expensive. If you talk them down from 50 to 35, like it adds up.
Yeah, so you got to just think about it. You got to think macro, right? In the micro, it's like, oh man, I can't believe, like, why didn't you just pay them the $2? But on the macro, if I do that over 1,000 transactions, that's a lot of money you could be losing that you could be losing from reinvesting in other items to resell. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, that's good.
So, all right, let's get back to the Walkman story. So, remember, I'm having this hoarding problem. So,
were you getting nostalgic about it?
I did. Like, I didn't want to sell it. Like, I think subconsciously, like I bought it and it just sat like in my house.
We need to have an intervention, I think.
It was on top of my curio cabinet, and it just sat there. I want to say for like 2 months. Never listed it. It just sat there. And then I was like, you know what? I got to list this. So I listed it. And then I made sure I took nice pictures and everything. So I listed it $50 more than everybody else on eBay. So I listed the CD player at $199.99. You know how I roll.
Yep.
And somebody paid full price plus shipping.
Were there still the cheaper ones up? Like,
yes.
Listed?
Yeah. And like, if you look, these were the other ones, right? So the next cheapest one is $139.99. Actually, $149.99. Then it goes to $119.99. And it just goes down from there. I mean, some people sold theirs. I could have done some RA. Some people sold theirs for like $100. I could have bought it and resold it for $200.
Huh.
Right? And so, isn't that crazy?
Maybe I should do that before we release this podcast.
There you go. Right now. Okay, we're going to cut the podcast. We're going to go buy some. Because right now, if I go on eBay and we take a look at how much they're currently selling for, let me see. Let's take a look at, let's remove the sold and the completed items, which it's not doing for me. But we'll do, there you go. So we'll look for new. Let's see how much new are going for, Mike. We're doing this live right now while we're recording. So new, there are none available.
Huh. Which is why yours went maybe so high.
There you go. Maybe we solved it. Let's see. But I don't think mine's is the most recent. Like, but that could be. If yours is the only one, you definitely control the market. So that's a very good point. All right, so we're going to look at ended recently. There you go. That's why. So I waited it out. Right?
Nice.
Build that pipeline.
It works.
And you hold. That's awesome that we just figured that out, right? Because mine sold, let's see.
Well, I mean.
Back on early November. The other one that sold, the last one that sold, that was new, was October 20th.
I'm glad we figured it out, but at the same time, it kind of burst the bubble of, like, hey, we can buy them cheap. Sell them for more.
Well, yeah, but you can put a search on eBay.
That's true.
And then it pops up. Boom. It's yours. And there you go. Some eBay RA. You're good to go. But
I like it.
Wouldn't
it be OA?
True. It'd be OA. Thank you. See?
Online arbitrage.
We're building that lexicon.
That's right.
Right? Okay. But again, hey, I want to tell everyone, like, always take great pictures. Not that my pictures were, like, amazing. I just made sure I had a white background and proper lighting. And on top of that, don't be scared to price yours high and just wait it out. Like all the time, I always find that people, for some whatever reason, find that that item is the one that they want. Now, on this scenario, it probably wasn't the case. This scenario is probably like it's the only one
It's the
left.
only one.
Might as well scoop it up. Probably should have listed it for higher.
But then you've got to be like actively looking at your listings and then checking. That can get overwhelming.
That
like,
is true. That's true.
If you're trying to watch the market on everything. But it might be good to pick. I mean, we've talked in our last episode about not being too specific when you're out, sourcing and having multiple, things that you're looking for, not just stuff you're interested in. But yeah, maybe pick a niche that you're specific about, that you're very interested in, that you do online arbitrage, and maybe you're checking Craigslist for, I don't know, whatever it is, a certain type of trinket or a certain electronic or a certain whatever, that you can kind of control the market. And when you see it up cheap, you're buying it, and then you're the one selling all of them that are available, right?
No, I agree. It was kind of like, remember the buckles?
Yep.
Like certain kind of buckles that I picked up, like I control the market and I'm getting 40 to 50 on each of them now. It's been awesome.
That's cool. I like it. Yeah, and so this is slightly off topic, but you mentioned you're getting a little bit sentimental about items and you're keeping them,
a little bit.
which is bizarre, because that just doesn't seem like you. In fact, I think I remember having a conversation with you where I asked you if you had trouble selling stuff that you bought, and you were like, "Nope, no problem at all." Right? So this is newish, I feel.
It is new, and I think part of it is because now that I'm a full-time reseller, like I have a lot more time to source things. So I'm not really as worried about sourcing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because when I was working full-time and sourcing, in the evenings or on Saturdays, like you got to sell whatever you pick up. Now it's like I have way too much inventory, right? Like right now as Q4 is ramping, like I'm really not sourcing a lot for eBay. Most of that is late night thrift store every once in a while or garage sale. But most of the time I'm doing RA.
Right.
So, but if, once January hits and I'm not hitting Q4 as much, I'm excited about what I'm going to find. It's going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, I could see myself sometimes, and this goes against everything we talked about last episode, but there are times
that does not sound good.
There are times where I'll occasionally pay up for items, if it's something that I'm okay with being stuck with, right? If it's like, if this doesn't end up selling, if I don't find the right buyer, like I want to sell this thing for $100, but if it doesn't sell and I paid $20 for it, I'd be okay with keeping this for myself, right? This is a great find for $20. Like, to give you an example, today I picked up a pair of Polk Audio speakers that I'm really excited about. They're like triangle shaped, so it's kind of like surround sound, where it puts out the audio in two different directions off of one speaker, and there's two of them. And I was able to talk them down to 20 from 45. I think that's what they started with, like 45. Okay. I talked them down to 20 on them. And if they sell, I think I'll probably net like 60. They'll probably sell for a little over 100 plus shipping.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. But if they don't sell, those are really good speakers, and I'm really excited that I paid $20 for them. Okay, right? So, but I feel like I'm the opposite. Like, as I've been reselling, I don't want to say I've turned into like a minimalist, even though like I've pondered and considered doing that in the past. I feel like I'm almost care less and less about material things. The more I buy and sell, I'm getting to the point where it's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, stuff? I don't need stuff. Like, I want to sell stuff, and I want to, you know what I mean? Like, stuff isn't as valuable to me.
So it's interesting you say that, because yeah, I'm sentimental about certain things, but I think it's because they're rare and unique, but for me, like, if you see me out, like out and about, like I don't wear any designer clothing. Like I don't buy the newest sneakers. Like, and it's funny because in high school, that was my thing.
Right.
Like I had all the new Jordans. I wish I kept them all. I had all the starter jackets, and I was pretty spoiled when I was a kid. And now,
members only jacket.
No, my dad had one though. Yeah. But it's funny because I remember when those were selling, I'm like, where's my dad's jacket? But now, like, you're right. Like, I really don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see what our listeners think. Like, do you feel like you're less interested in material things now that you've been reselling, or is this fueling your need to buy? Because maybe that's what it is. It scratches our itch to like buy things.
Yeah, but I think there's like people that do sneakers. Like, there's a lot of them that resell a lot, but they really love certain sneakers and they'll hold on to them, right? But I don't know. I totally get what you're saying. Like at Christmas, it's like, what do I really want?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of I wonder what it is. Maybe it's just the buying thing, like, you recognize that, like, m materialism and buying stuff, it kinda loses its the dopamine rush, I guess, of, like, buying something new because we do it all the time.
Because we're high all the time.
Yeah, like, you get a little bit of, like, excitement, going out and buying a bunch of stuff, or if it's just that.
No, I think you're onto something because I do get a high. Like when I find like, whatever, like that's Walkman, like
Mhm,
that was a high. Like, oh my, I can't believe I found this.
mm,
Even hearing about Eric the college picker's Levi's find, like it might have not been my high,
mm.
but like I'm high about like, wow, like
It's
somebody found
excitement,
it,
yeah.
right? But if like, hey, I'm gonna go buy this new console coming out, like
Yeah.
I'm not like, ooh, you know what I
Well, and
mean?
that's the thing too, is, like, then that dopamine rush of
We're
the
getting
excitement.
super philosophical right
No,
now.
but I think that's good, like, 'cause okay, so that dopamine rush that you have is directly connected with the thing you're buying, but then it's also connected with, in your mind, the profit margins, right? How much you're gonna make. It's when it sells, you get probably a dopamine rush again. So that connection of excitement is no longer purchasing for you, but it's like the buy to sell. So maybe that it helps you disconnect. 'Cause I do think a lot of people who are, addicted to shopping, which is a thing, right? Like,
Mhm.
people have this
Oh yeah, I
addiction
know
where it's like,
plenty.
you buy stuff and you think, they get excited and happy about it. And then the next day, it's like that excitement is gone. You realize it doesn't fulfill whatever it was that you were hoping it would fulfill. And you go out and you buy something else and you get that excitement again. But for us, that connection is with how much money you're going to make off of it and the purchase. So when you buy something for yourself, you don't have that same dopamine rush of, yay, I'm buying something, because it's not as good as how much money can I make off of it.
No, I agree. I agree. But I totally get what you're saying because I think that's why I'm having trouble letting go of some of these items because I have that rush. Like I found these things for
Mm,
really cheap. They're vintage. They're cool looking. Like I don't know if I can get rid of them. You know,
yeah.
but
Hey,
but
that works.
I probably need to sell. Okay, let's get to our bolos.
Bolo.
I want to hear your bolo.
Okay, so my bolo actually comes from the same cell that my hustle of the week came from.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah, which is kinda
interesting.
cool because this is, again, I stopped going to sales today after, golden hour was over, which maybe I shouldn't have, because the week before, I was when I got my big ones, right? So, I'm at this sale where I pick up this ugly mug, and
You're just like ugly mug. You just called it
I
out.
guess I shouldn't call it ugly, unique mug.
Unique
It was
mug.
actually really cool looking.
I thought it was cool
It was
looking.
really cool looking, but I call it ugly because it's not like a normal, but anyways, so I go because I was hoping to find D&D miniatures, right? Like these Dungeons& and Dragon miniatures, and they didn't have any, but she had, 2 Lord of the Rings miniature boxes. One was unopened, one was open, but the packages inside weren't opened, and it was made by the same company. It's called Games Workshop, that makes a game called Warhammer 40K. They're big miniatures
I've heard
wargaming.
of Warhammer.
Yeah. So anyways, my bolo is miniatures in general. So like little, metal. You're looking for metal. You probably don't want plastic, although new plastic stuff sells okay. You're not looking for like plastic army men, right? But like little miniature, the size of like a quarter if it's standing up, um, figurines. Usually they're like, Middle Earth looking, where they got swords and stuff, or they're like futuristic where they've got like guns and big old armor and,
So they don't look like toys.
no. Well, no, I wouldn't say they look like toys. Look up, just go home or wherever you're, at right now, check out Warhammer 40K, look up Games Workshop miniatures. I've only ran into a few of them at garage sales. These things hold their value like you wouldn't believe. I've tried multiple times in getting into different miniature games. I play a few, and even buying the miniatures used, because they sell them new, extremely expensive. Sometimes we're talking like a little tiny figure could be upwards 30 to $40 for one,
Okay.
right? And people, when they have armies, have hundreds and hundreds of them.
Wow.
And when they sell their armies, if you go on eBay and you're selling Games Workshop stuff, if you're selling, Warhammer 40K or this Lord of the Rings game or various games, they hold their value. And so if you can find them at a thrift store, or if you find them at garage sales and people are just trying to offload them, maybe on Craigslist or something like that, pick them up. They
Do they have
hold their
like
value.
engraving? Do they have engravings on it for you to be able to tell what it is?
No, that's the thing is, if it's metal and it looks nice and it's a miniature, it's gonna sell for money. whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, Games Workshop. You might have a little bit of, trying to figure out what game specifically it goes to, but there's only a couple of really big games. Even Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, if they're metal, if you can get your hands on miniatures, I still don't know why they're so expensive. Even the plastic ones are extremely expensive. I don't know how they hold the market, but anyways, I picked up these 2 boxes of Lord of the Rings metal miniatures. It's like, I'm telling you, something like quality wise, they're really nice for what they are, but like it's something a kid would get at a store for $5 or $10. They're selling for $60 each, right? I picked up 2 of them, so $120 worth of miniatures. So that's my BOLO. Be on the lookout for wargaming miniatures. They're money.
I'm sure I've just passed them up all the time.
Oh, I'll be mad. I'm waiting for the
Not
day.
Not all the time, but
I'm waiting for the garage of the full army.
Wow. Okay, that is definitely a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so mine is just something I haven't thought about in a while. So a couple years ago, I was at a community garage sale, and I drove up, and there was this box, and this box was full of these business phones, and the guy was just trying to offload them. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, hey, man, I'll give them to you for 20. And it was like 10 phones. And then I looked them up on eBay, 1 or 2 of them. And, they're going for like 30, 40 a piece. And I was like, okay, I could do this. And so I picked them up. And then I went home and I went through all of them. And I think I sold, how many phones did I say I had? I had a bunch. I don't remember. But let's say it was 10 phones or whatever it was. I sold them all for $150. I just lauded them all. I didn't even say they worked. I just said, untested, there's a power cord, and that's it. There's no other cables, all sold for $150. So I'm like, sweet. Like, that was something that I didn't even look for. I didn't even want, but it was such a good deal. I thought, why not risk it?
Right.
And, I did a little bit of research. So that actually helped me out today. So today while I was going to garage sales, it's one of those mornings where I kept going and going and going and going, and it wasn't anything great. And, the one score I thought was a score, I picked up a stack of books for free, and none of them were valuable.
Oh.
Right? So I basically picked up some labor for myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Something to throw away.
There you go. But it's okay. It was free. And at the same community garage sale, I didn't find much. And so I go to another one. I thought it was a community garage sale. Those community garage sales?
That's the worst.
And it's like only like 3 families at a house.
People,
yeah, that's what it was. So I show up, and it's like you said, it's past the golden hour. It's like 10, 15 in the morning or something. And it was, it just people just hanging out, chatting. I'm like, this is not good, but I figured might as well look around. And I go, and I see this stack of phones, and it says 12 phones on a cardboard, 12 phones, all working. And then I find out that these were former families at the school I worked at.
Nice.
Now, you say nice. Back in the day, I would just roll out. Like, I wouldn't even, because it's awkward. Like,
yeah.
Like one place I remember.
Well, it's a conflict of interest potentially, right?
Yeah. Like one time it was, I bought all these Harley shirts, and I had asked, how much do you want for them? They're like, well, for you, you can take them. I'm like, no, because eventually there's going to be this awkward moment where we're going to have to meet, and you're going to go like, remember that one time? It's kind of like Dave Ramsey says, never borrow money from your family because Thanksgiving tastes a little different. Thanksgiving. I think I said Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving tastes a little bit different. And so that's kind of, but I remembered I wasn't an administrator anymore, right? So, but anyways, I told them, I said, hey, I'd like to, possibly buy these phones. And they went into a story about how I think it was, what do you call, let's see, their child was married to somebody else and that sister. Is that related at all? Okay, maybe there's no relation.
I'd have to draw it out. I'm not sure. I wasn't following.
But how she did private label now and how she had sold stuff on Amazon and she was all about it. And so she asked me how much do I want? And I'm like, I don't know. I still couldn't give a number. So she tells me 25 and I go, what about 20 for all of them? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. She goes, okay, now show me how much you're going to make. I'm like, I don't, I kind of didn't want to. So I pull it up on Amazon and and these phones are each going for like $100 a piece. Okay. And I show her and she goes, yeah, high five. And like, she celebrated with me.
Oh.
Right. But I was like, wow, that's incredible. So
What type of phone specifically are we looking for?
All kinds of, I would say business phones.
Business phones?
Like corded business phones.
Okay.
For a reason, you know, that when they're hooked up to a network, whatever, like they go for money. And there's all kinds of different brands. Right? So keep an eye because, you know, these are things that people like today, people they look like junk. Like if you look at my Instagram feed picture of it, it just looks like a pile of mess. But all the power cords are there, the cords are there, the receiver, they're all in good condition. And I can flip them on Amazon for about, you know, some are going to go from 50 to 70, some are going to go from 80 to 100 a piece. So it's definitely a nice haul. So be on the lookout for business phones.
I like it.
So that's my bolo. So what are you looking forward to now?
Oh, man. Well, continuing with videos, I think is one thing, but I think what I'm really looking forward to, I have Monday off this Monday, right? So if you're listening to this podcast, it was last Monday.
Yeah. So it's Veterans Day. So thank you to all the veterans out there who have been serving our country.
Yes,
really
thank you
appreciate
so much. So I think between Sunday and Monday, I'm going to try and get through every single item that I have that's not listed.
That's intense.
I want to have everything in my garage listed, accounted for, done.
Wow.
Not a single thing hanging over my head, which is a lot. You know, I mean, I've got quite a few VCRs I need to test and clean up. I've got a bunch of Tonka trucks that I need to clean up and research.
Those Tonka trucks, have you listed those Tonka
I haven't
trucks?
listed them yet. No, because I
that
need
was a sweet haul.
It was, yeah. And I know I'm going to make a lot of money on it. And I think Christmas time is the right time for that. I just have to clean them up and do the research, right? And so there's that. There's a lot of odds and end things. Few games I got to count pieces for, right? Like there's a lot of work I've got ahead of me, but I think it's going to feel so good to know that everything is listed. I think it's going to feel good. It'll feel worth it.
Now you're in a good place because when you begin to sell a lot, and like you have a huge inventory, you will always have stuff that will not be listed.
Oh, I'm sure.
At least that's my experience. Now there's maybe some of you experienced resellers that everything you own, you've listed. But I know a lot that don't. And I know for myself, I have all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking right now about this Flowbee that's sitting in a storage tote that I think they're still selling for $50 to $100.
I almost wonder if you need to have a specific like routine where it's like Saturdays is source day, Mondays is Poshmark clothes days, Tuesdays is take pictures of items days, Wednesdays is bookkeeping day. Like if you have a specific thing, then I think maybe you'd be better off. But then at the same time, you might be limiting yourself on when you could be sourcing. I don't know.
Some people do that. They do. They say, I'm only going to source 2 days. And these 2 days I'm doing Amazon. These 2 days I'm doing eBay, whatever it is. I'm too much of a free spirit when it comes to reselling. Do
you think that's hurting your profits or do you think that's helping your profits?
Both.
Simultaneously?
Yeah, because
you're both making more money and losing money.
I was staying even. No, the reason I say
you're breaking even.
No, because there's times where on a whim I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go source and I have some major scores, right? Which I would have missed out on. And then there's other times like, I have all the stuff that's like time sensitive that needs to get listed and I'm not listing it.
I can see that.
So I think it's both. Speaking of that, what I'm looking forward to is I'm gonna start doing. Wait.
I wanted to ask you and you jumped right in.
Oh, go ahead, ask me.
So Orlando, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, thank you. I'm actually going to do some sourcing on road trips.
Oh, nice.
So now when I say
road
trips, I'm going to LA.
Is that secret?
I'm going to
LA. LA.
So I might see some of you. So if you spot me out there, I just say hi. Okay.
Yeah, take a picture of them and post it up on Instagram. Say, I found Orlando.
Don't post it in the lobby of Target. Okay, look out for this reseller. But I should have given that idea out. That'd be pretty funny if I saw that one day. I'd be kind of
your picture in the Target.
Yeah, look out. Anyways,
look out for this reseller.
But hey, yeah. So I'll be out and about. Hopefully you're okay. I know some of you are like, oh, he's getting into my territory. But there's a lot to go around, and I like traveling. I need something, especially when you're doing RA. Like you need to get out there because what ends up happening, you keep hitting the same stores. And it goes blah.
Starts to feel like a grind.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know what? Speaking of that, one of the things I wanted to talk about maybe for the episode is, think about, you had said you're okay selling for $10, $15 right? Profit. But if you ever get to a place where you're like, man, I feel like I'm working, that's one of the things you probably should change. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Because then you're going back to working a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
You only make so. Anyways, I just thought about that. Thought I'd bring it up in this podcast.
Good point.
I could have just called you and told you that over the week, but I fear the podcast in case somebody else out there needed to hear that.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think it might be good while you're building the pipeline, and then slowly start replacing items. So as items sell, you're replacing it with
I agree.
higher ticket items.
No, I agree, and that's where I was at too. No. So anyways, looking forward to the road trip. Looking forward to not having to do adult stuff like clean my room, clean the house,
make your bed,
cook for my, cook and all that. I'm just doing like 2-3 day trips here and there, so it'll be nice.
It's good stuff.
Hopefully, I get some good sourcing. Hopefully, I connect with some of you. If I see you out there in the wild, it'll be fun. So, I think we've exhausted our conversation today.
I think so.
Okay, with that being said, hey, make sure to always be following us on Puros of Podcast on IG. Hey, on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't yet, and like and comment below.
And share, please share. Like, tell your friends.
Yeah, there's that little share, like that little arrow thing on YouTube. You can go to share. Also, a podcast, you can also share. Hey, write us some awesome reviews if you like the show. And if you didn't like the show, well, write us an awesome review.
Yeah, call us and tell us why. Maybe there's something we can change.
Yeah, right? Or maybe we offended you some way, which is not our hope ever. So. Yeah. We are 619-738-1170, and I think we've covered everything. Everything else will be in the details below the YouTube and also on our podcast. Hey, thanks so much for listening. By the time this episode drops, we're getting ever closer to having amazing Q4 sales, so be ready.
Thanksgiving's around the corner. Black Friday.
It'll be nice. So make sure to always be real.
Be relevant.
And be reselling.
Peace.